GM.
GM, sir. How are you?
GM. I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right,
Doing A-okay.
my friend. Yeah,
Feeling good. Ready to take on the world.
I am. A little somber, but
Big
I'm
day.
okay.
Yeah. Definitely a different mood and vibe this morning from from anything really.
Not the normal GM today.
No.
It's a little tough out there.
We are gonna get through this together though. So we got definitely got some stuff to talk about, some things to kind of break down what this means. Always important to remember, as focused and all consuming as NFTs can be, there is a real world out there, and real world shit happens, and some real world shit is happening as we speak. So thoughts and prayers and all of that stuff to anybody who's affected by this, or a lot of people have family over there, and yeah, just trying to figure out where we're going. So
Yep.
Obviously, talking about the Russia invading the Ukraine news that kind of came out late last night, early this morning. Kind of woke up to a bit of a different world going on there. Crypto's down, NFTs are down, but honestly, kind of takes second stage to real life. So yeah, how was your day yesterday?
It was good. A lot of shows, and we interviewed Santiago from Crypto Monster Labs last night.
Oh yeah, did your tech guy get that all recorded for you?
Huh? Yeah, he did, but he hasn't posted it up yet. So I don't know. Yes, I called to my tech guy last night. I did. It was funny because I didn't know who was going to help when I needed someone to record yesterday. And I had put out a notice because I DM'd Dirty Milk. He wasn't responding. I put out a notice in our chat, and I went to go tell Santiago, "Hey man, I'm a little late. I'm sorry." And since I didn't know who was going to respond to me, I was just like the tech guy, because we needed a tech guy, right? And what am I going to say? Well, I'm just waiting for Dirty Milk, Envio, or to get back to me. And then I was just like, I just need a tech guy. And then that line kind of, I was in that mindset, and I apologize.
It's okay. I thought it was just very, very funny.
Oh man,
my wife has a similar reaction when I refer to her as my roommate.
That especially looks good on you, though. When I see you sitting in the audience there, you're special.
Oh yeah, I just switched it up. I put especially in my PFP. Never had it before, but he's pretty clean. I love that one. That's my. Yeah. It's like literally bottom 0.1% in rarity, and he's my fave.
I noticed that you changed it at the exact top, and now we're down about 65%. Would you like to explain yourself? The floor is
yours. Everything is down 65%. Actually, it did go the Cool Mans did go through quite a drop after that. There's something with that project.
Ella, guess what? Guess who bought another lemon for the first time in a long time? Guess. Yeah, that's right.
Old Uncle Free.
Old Uncle Free. That's right. Well, as the world was burning, these things happened when we were live on Spaces, which I guess that makes sense because we're always live on Spaces.
But, yeah, I was going to say there's a good chance that anything in the world happens while you're on a space.
Yeah. So everyone was panicking. I'm in a few different alpha group chats, not like a Discord server, like basically the like Telegram chats and stuff, with famous people I can't name, and the thought leaders of our worlds, whatever. One way or the other, everyone's in there panicking. Are we selling? What do I say? Old FMC was thinking, what do I buy? And lo and behold, someone offered me exactly what my critters was worth at the floor. I guess they were just like, I want one. Let me offer this and let people say gas, right? Because
Wait, did you sell a rare critters?
what? There are rare critters.
Oh my god! Like they're implementing something that like you can produce double the block based on your traits and stuff.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
you just I had that split second of oh fuck, what did I do?
God damn you, R2. Yeah, so no, I took the offer. Well, it was funny because people were just paper everything. Well, Cool Man's just crashes crazy, but the bot went nuts. They were chewing up everything down there. Everything people were I mean, I guess there was too much supply for it to overcome. But everything was paper. People were papering everything, and somebody listed a Ruby Hello Kitty lemon for just a steal of a price. And I scooped it. I traded. I said, I'm trading this critters for this lemon. That's probably antithesis to the max min profit maxis listening now, as that critter earns me regular income. And what do we know? These lemons? Oh, yeah. No, I bought another lemon. Bought a lemon. Lemons are bullish.
I mean, yeah, I saw them. I think they dipped down to what, about 2.25, a little bit. I think it's just kind of recovered since then. But
I mean, it's a very small amount of lemons that have caused them to dip there. The walls are very thin. It's about volume leaving. It does, the floor price is irrelevant in that sense. If I see a ton started to be listed around that area, I guess I'd be concerned, but I still wouldn't. I mean, it's just a factor of the macro situation. So but yeah, so I don't know, we talked about it briefly, but I have started a group called the Lemonettes. The Lemonettes are Hello Kitty lemons. You have to be a Hello Kitty lemon to be part of the Lemonettes, and I just anticipate as we release our single next month, our music video, we've actually set up a collab with a very famous very famous artists who I can't even mention right now. Once they start to blow up, I just think Hello Kitty lemons, that floor is going to be, 20, 30.
Are you making like parody songs, or is this going to be like real? I don't want to say real. Like,
are you implying
original
if lemon is in the song, it's a parody song?
Well, I mean, like,
no,
you could definitely create a lot of parody
from
existing songs.
We're not going to take hit songs and just fit the word lemon into it.
Okay,
you're asking.
There's some substance. There's depth to this.
I'm not saying we will.
Hey, Weird Al had a great career. Don't worry. About it.
I'm not saying we will never do that. I'm just saying that this song that we are planning for next month will be original, beautiful, and a collaboration with some very, very talented artists that I think will.
Ella's saying you're going to be the only one in the Lemonettes if you keep scooping up all the Hello Kitties.
Ella, hey.
This is Free Market's hostile bid into a solo career.
Yeah, well,
the takeover is real. GM, everybody. GM. Look at all you guys. Good to be here with you. Love seeing the familiar faces, and in times like these, this is where we all kind of band together and get each other's backs. There's going to be potentially some tough times ahead. Do you want to get started with it? Do the old drum roll. GM, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday, February 24th edition of the AM show, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch TV. Appreciate everybody showing up here this morning. Obviously, a lot to kind of digest, take in, talk about, consider. Obviously, there's things bigger than NFTs going on in the world, but of course, this is an NFT show, so we will be talking about NFTs, crypto, and of course, the greater world, and we're going to try and tie that all in together. But always important when talking about these things and interacting with people to, just keep in mind that this is a very global, international community. Sometimes in times of difficulty and trouble, humor is a good way to kind of, just stay grounded and laugh through the tough times, but also just remember that there are people with family all over this world and people that live all over this world. And while we might laugh about people selling or paper handing and stuff like that, there are definitely people out there in this world that need access to these funds, and you never know why somebody is selling. So just keep in mind we're all a one big family here, and we're gonna get through this together. So as always, I'm your host, R2Dgen, and joined with me by Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now.
Hey now. Yes, interesting evening, interesting morning going on. And actually yesterday was quite an interesting day, regardless of all of that in the NFT world. How was your day yesterday? I know you did the show with me. Then you jump into your usual lemon spaces. You did an interview last night on the AlphaMint Discord, and then I think you were up pretty burning the candle at both ends on another spaces into the evening. How was it?
So Out of Pocket Entertainment has started a series called Lemon Sesh. We do games. We had a talent show last night. There was a rap battle. We had singers come on. It was a veritable smorgasbord of entertainment and love. So that was how my evening went. But in the middle of it, of course, Vladimir Putin launched an invasion into Ukraine and started bombing it. So this happened live on the air. And I do remember when 9/11 happened and Howard Stern was on the air. And it felt just similar hearing the morbid tone of people. Everybody's tone changed. Yes. We were having a good time. We were laughing. And it was tough. And people were obviously concerned about what's happening over there with markets around the world crashing. And it was quite the evening. So
yeah, for sure. I think I was around kind of later on in the evening, had dinner and watched some TV with my wife, came on to onto the computer after for a little bit, and I think it was like just starting to come out that things were going down before I had to kind of call it a night and just kind of sleep on it. But yeah, it's a very strange time because it's everybody's looking for answers or what's to come, and the real honest to God truth is nobody really knows, right? These situations are so difficult, especially in their early stages, to kind of dissect and figure out where this goes from here. I were you in New York during 9/11? Was that were you always?
I've always been in New York. I was
okay, I thought so.
It happened.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't tell you what it was like to be there, and I can only imagine. But even just in Canada, which is just really in the grand scheme of things, a stone's throw away. I remember that day, one of the most vivid days of my life. And I feel like this is one of those events that are going to remember as well. We kind of had some shades of that during the pandemic in 2020, although that was a little bit more of a slow build up. We had, once it kind of finally got here and all over the world, and you really had this realization that this was a truly global event and it was going to affect everything as you know it. And of course the markets were affected as well by it. It really just starts to sink in that you're in for a bit of a change. I guess that being said, we can kind of lead into it and we'll just kind of go through the show like we normally do. But yeah, like as we said, the markets are in a rough spot right now. Crypto took a dive overnight for sure, just like the traditional markets are doing right now. Have you had your eye on them, by the way? I haven't had anything pulled up.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything's being driven by macro, as we know. And the best gauge of macro is the S&P 500 futures. You will see news reflected in them before it even comes across your screen. We're in a precarious position right now. We talked about the chart turned back neutral after it fell below 2,800. It was leaning slightly bearish, and macro news certainly confirmed that. And the S&P is right near a very important uptrend line. I believe we're going to open I guess we opened already, and I could check on it right now. But we did.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. I think I found a chart here.
Yeah, we
That'll
did
do
open
it justice.
below. We did open below that critical line. Now, I do believe we're right at very important support as we speak. I think we will bounce back and get close above it by the end of the day and close the gap. I mean, there is a pretty large gap on the SPU right now, which is almost always filled. It's below an important trend line. So technically, being as oversold as we are, I actually expect a very short-term bounce into today and tomorrow. The weekend will not be kind, I do not think. I think that is when these things tend to play out, and we're going to see what Vlad's next move is here. I'm not sure what we've heard out of Russia yet and how they're approaching it and how they're framing this. I thought it was very interesting that last night there were one or two spaces going on with one had 10,000 people in it and one had 50,000 people in it. And
wow.
Yeah, I find this extremely profound because there's probably no better way to have real-time, up-to-date information on a macro situation that's occurring. We sit in spaces regularly and just remark on, wow, look at how we're talking to somebody in Spain and talking to someone in Nigeria. And it just feels like you're sitting in a room with a bunch of people who are all over the world. When something like this happens, that's extremely profound because you have news reporters reporting from the ground. You have the best analysts in the world up there, and it drew quite the audience. And I think while everyone's known about Clubhouse and all that, and all that it's led to, I think that Twitter Spaces is becoming this extremely important avenue for information, this live podcast that can essentially pop up at any time. It was very, very interesting to watch it happen. And our biggest concern right now is, of course, not markets. It's what's going on with the macro situation. So markets are secondary here, but we are paid to analyze them. So, like I said, I'm expecting a short-term bounce here in S&Ps, and that reflects on crypto. It doesn't even matter. I see people putting up charts, doing technical analysis on ETH. I really think it doesn't matter. Could ETH fall to 1,500 in the next week if Putin gets frisky? Sure. But I don't think that's the technicals to watch right now. I think that the real money is in S&Ps, and that's where people are going to be de-risking if things really get hairy. So we're going to see. Like I said, technically, I believe we're due for a bounce. You can only go down so much before you get reflexive bounces, even if we're going to crash. But I will tell you right now, all cards on the table, and we adjust to reality. If we don't get back above this neckline here this weekend, and I do expect the weekend to be choppy. I wouldn't expect it to be straight up. But if we don't get back up against the neckline this weekend, Monday and Tuesday could prove to be pretty hairy. We could see a pretty aggressive flush everywhere, especially if some new macro news comes out.
Yeah, and I mean, to go to your one of your earlier points just about Twitter Spaces and kind of the power of social media in these times, especially when you're dealing with real-time social media like a Spaces or, live streaming and stuff like that. It really does serve to help information flow kind of quickly to everybody, which is great. It also serves to kind of humanize the fact that, like you said, you're on a Twitter Spaces or something with people from all over the world, much like, the people in our audience today. And it really does, humanize the entire experience. And, we haven't really had that in the past. Because you never really had access to be, speaking to people in real time throughout all of this. And it's a great reminder that there are other things to talk about. And sure, we're going to talk about crypto, and there's, we're going to talk about NFTs in the greater market. And, I have a couple of feelings about it. The lower this goes, does it affect my life? Yes. But I feel like if we're, comparing what's going on in the real world to the markets, the lower this goes, the more that I feel like there's some actual real shit going down in the world, and the less I'm actually worried about crypto and NFTs, because it's just not the main focus, and it's not what you should be focusing on.
I think that was what everyone's feeling was last.
Yeah.
When you look at NFT floors, they were down 50% across. I didn't see anybody who escaped it. I mean, even Bored Apes fell, 20 ETH from their peak. I know it's not a 50% haircut, but there is no collection that's not feeling it right now. And I don't think we weren't sitting there in the chat going, oh my God,
Yeah, my Guelph. Oh my God.
It was just very concerning. I'll tell you right now, the S&P just got above where it opened. It hasn't gone green yet, but it is already seeing kind of a reflexive bounce off the bottom. We'll see if it holds, but I do think technicals are saying that people are going to have come in this morning and gotten too far ahead with the panic, and we're going to see a little bit of a reflex here.
Well, I don't know if you see any parallels in what happened in March of 2020 when the markets kind of crashed and there was that panic that kind of set in as the pandemic kind of hit peak hysteria at that point. But it did have a very sharp and reflexive bounce back into over the course of a few months, all-time highs. And, if you're kind of looking at what's going on in terms of the markets, there is like a real sense of like panic. This is a time where like, I think I've learned from in the past that like, I'm not really good at active live trading like this. So I would be sitting on the sidelines. I did sell during that, that pandemic drop, and thinking that this was going to be the start of a recession or an extended bear period or whatever. And, it did end up setting me back. So right now, I mean, I'm more than, satisfied with just holding and kind of taking a step back and watching, all of the events kind of unfold and really just kind of trying to piece it together in my own mind. I don't know if you see any similarities to that, but that was kind of the first thing that came to mind. And it really wasn't that long ago.
The problem is that you cannot sell in the middle of these things. All right. You either sell when it feels ridiculous to sell or buy when it feels ridiculous to buy. But if you do anything in the middle, even if you're right in the short term, you're going to keep turning yourself around, right? So we talk about taking profits. Profits is profits. Well, when things get frothy and there are periods where it just seems like things can never go down, and that's usually when it's best to sell. And there are periods when things feel like they'll never go up, and that's just when it's best to buy. Right now, we're in between that. We know it can break either way. That's a really, really precarious time to make either move, because one way or the other, you're going to end up chasing. Whether it crashes and you say, oh, I have to buy back in. That's very difficult to buy back in. And if it starts to run the other way, you may be compelled to chase, and maybe it's just a bull trap and it reverses and fools with you again. It's, you have at this point, I don't think anybody who hasn't done anything should do anything, because I just think you're in the middle of the range. You're smack dab in the. Could we get to 1,500? Sure. Could we rally to 3,500? Sure. We're literally in the middle of that range right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember listening to an investing podcast, and they basically said there's about 3 days a year. You do the time in the market is better than timing the market. Now, obviously, there's some very talented traders out there and whatnot, but there's like 3 days a year. And if you miss one of those days, you basically forego about 50% of the gains that you would make on the entire year. And if you miss all 3 of those days, i.e. you're sitting out of the market, then your net growth on your portfolio is going to be zero. And I just thought that was very interesting. So when you're watching these days go down in real time and you're trying to time it, and you mistime it, the long-term implications of what you stand to make can be very good or very, very bad, right? And there's always people on the losing side of that when you're trying it out.
And I just want to point out, this is only really in things you have conviction with, right? Like, I have a lot of conviction with ETH. I'm not worried about its long-term direction. Those are the ones it's hard to trade around, because when you don't have emotional attachment to something, and look, I know we shouldn't have emotional attachment to anything, and I'm not talking about like the overarching philosophy of it, but when you have something that you have very, very high conviction on, I think it's difficult to trade around it. You're always going to be biased bullish on it, right? So trading around it's tough because even if you do sell a peak, that first pullback, you tend to want to jump in and buy, and it can cut you up because it can continue to fall lower. So with things that I just have very, very high conviction on, I don't want to trade around it. I have very high conviction on ETH. If I can add when it pulls back, that's one thing. When we're talking about like flips and, short-term things or JPEGs you buy because you don't believe in them, I think it's easier to trade around them. You don't feel anything. And then the reason is because if you're wrong and it starts to either plummet or go up, and that was going against you, you don't really care. You weren't attached to it to begin with. When it's something you have conviction on, you feel compelled to chase. So middle of the range, I really wouldn't do anything with spot here. People were asking me, like, what do you do? Do you stable up and da-da-da? I almost never do that. I mean, the only time I would ever do that is if I make a prediction, it somehow hits my prediction exactly. But that happens so rarely that, I just tend to hold, and it's worked out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it again, middle of the range, right? You hit those stable coins and all of a sudden you have a bounce back up and you could be facing a 10-15% loss on your initial your whatever you stabled, like in a heartbeat too. I mean, these things happen as dramatically up as they do down sometimes, right? Like I'm kind of zooming out, and actually I didn't even realize that the S&P was like this far up from those points in March of 2020. But I mean, this is a 1 week chart, but there's this sharp drop down. And I mean, just like look how fast that bounce was, right? Like if you sold like right around here and you thought you were going to hold for a while, like it just outpaced you in the blink of an eye, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Okay. You bring up a good chart there because there are a few things that I use to chart. I am very simple. I am of the KISS, keep it simple, stupid philosophy, right? Basic trend lines, basic Fibonacci levels, and an RSI, which is a relative strength indicator. It's all I use. Like you will see some people's charts and there will be tons of fancy indicators or chart drawings or things that they think see that. I tend to keep things very simple. And I look at this chart right now, and if you chart it from the pandemic low up to where it is and take out all the noise, is this pullback that bad? I mean, in Fibonacci discipline, we tend to, this is a straight, I know there's little bumps along the way, but this is basically a straight up line. And when you do a straight up line, we tend to fall back about 38.2%. I haven't done any charting in a while, but I can just look at my eye right now. We're pretty much at that. We're probably in between the 23 and the 32 right now anyway. So we're pretty close. I think that we will see a bounce off of that. This, to get to the macro a bit, Putin used this playbook in Georgia. Putin used this playbook in Ukraine before, in Crimea.
That was 2013, I think, which is crazy. I can't even believe that was 9 years ago.
Right, and I was trading S&P futures back then, and the market did the exact same thing. And of course, anything could happen. The world is new. I don't discount anything, but these things tend to resolve in a peaceful manner. There's a lot of JCV, how are you going to do that to me in the middle of the show? There's a secret society listed for 2.5 right now. A secret society lemon he's talking about. Whatever. We've talked about macro enough. Let's move on, R2. What's in the news?
No, yeah, it's all good. Well, I mean, what's in the news is more of this, really. Most of the articles I pull up is, $200 billion wiped from crypto market cap on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I tried to not just pull up, everything to do with that because, obviously the situation is developing and there's more to come. But, Vitalik Buterin came out and basically, denounced what's happening in Russia. He is a Russia / Canadian citizen, but obviously not very approving of what's going on by Putin and and the Russian army. So that came up too. I mean, I don't know if there's anything really even to talk about. This doesn't mean anything for Ethereum. He came out and said, Ethereum is neutral, but I am not. And, he is entitled to his opinion, of course. But yeah. The other news article that was a little more lighthearted yesterday was actually just the CryptoPunks Sotheby's auction that was going down yesterday that we talked about on the show a little bit. There was a lot of, and when I say a lot, a batch of CryptoPunks, 104 of them being auctioned off at Sotheby's yesterday. The auction was going to go down, and the owner of the punks, quote unquote, rugged Sotheby's. And then began trolling them on Twitter. There was some speculation that perhaps he wasn't going to get the bids that he wanted to part ways with it. He is saying that this was a troll all along, which is kind of interesting. But he took to Twitter after and started posting memes. He started, bragging about rugging Sotheby's. This Drake meme, taking punks mainstream by selling Sotheby's, and then on the approval side is taking punks mainstream by rugging Sotheby's. He basically just said never mind, decided to hodl, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this was an interesting turn of events. I don't think I have an opinion on whether this is a good or a bad look from for NFTs. My mind is kind of siding with bad look, but bizarre nonetheless.
It's not as bad a look as Sotheby's making a deal with Invisible Friends before.
No, totally fair.
In fact, that would be, that's what would have been my reasoning for quitting here. I think it's, whatever. I'm always perplexed as to why anybody in Web3 would want to sell their Web3 assets through something like Sotheby's, who takes a very large cut. Mm-hmm. And I know that the excuse is always because it helps these things go mainstream, which is fine, which I'm for. But then when I see something like this, I'm like, yeah, he came to his senses. Like, who, what?
Yeah, there was a tweet somewhere. I think it had it in this article where he does the SpongeBob capital and lowercase level or letters. I think he deleted it. Yeah. See, it basically just said, see who's dumb enough to pay the Sotheby's auction house premium. So yeah, he went all in on the action there, and I guess Furrow called him out too.
I was gonna say he's coming off like an idiot here, the way that he is doing this, no question. I like, this is like Weather Report and dented feels. Everyone's looking like a moron here.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's one of the interesting things about the pseudonymous economy is that his reputation, whoever he is, can't be hurt. But this 0x650D account maybe not looking super great right now. But at the end of the day, he's got 104 CryptoPunks, so who am I to judge? I guess. But it was funny to watch that go down in real time too, because everyone was excited to see it happen, and then it did not. Some other articles: Mexico senator proposes Bitcoin legal tender bill, but it's unlikely to pass. I got to say, I actually just appreciate an article putting it in their headline, the full context of this, because like leaving out this last one is super clickbaity. You got to go and read it. But at least there's some more fleshed out context in there. So I guess kudos to them for that. But, reading into it, it's just, they are, the Mexican president is not pro crypto or pro Bitcoin. This is an opposition party presenting something, and the likelihood of it going down is slim to none. But it's good to see it being at least talked about and thrown around in the political sphere these days as we kind of march towards adoption.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any comment on that. Just a quick article that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where regulation will eventually fall on these things. It's going to be interesting because whatever country does get something like this either passed or not, other countries may point to it as some sort of precedent. I don't know. Pretty interesting. We'll see. I think all of these things are a long way away from being a currency for a multitude of reasons. but governments are obviously threatened by what they provide to citizens because there's less control of what we do. So they're reacting this way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of conversation right now with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia about, how important crypto is. So I think that you're going to continue to see this narrative here in terms of what country kind of follows suit on El Salvador's passing of this last year. Who knows? I can't imagine that it's going to be Mexico next. But the more that this happens, the more it kind of feels like it's about to be a reality. So yeah, GM J Roy. Solana, I just gonna pull this up. Not a big fan of Solana, but I'm a big fan of this idea. Solana, Pantera Capital, NBA owners invest in NFT basketball, fantasy basketball game. Fast Break Labs announces raised $6 million in a seed round. Fast Break Labs is the startup behind the Virtual Basketball Association, and essentially they're trying to create a virtual world sports game that will allow people to have NFTs of these players and participate in more of an actual realized setting in the metaverse. He went on, the spokesperson that was talking about it went on to take a shot at LeBron there. Even better, these players won't openly contemplate leaving LA in the middle of a season because they're not real people. So my gut is telling me that these are going to be a set of non-NBA players, but actual metaverse kind of characters who have nothing to do with the real world, and you can participate in that sense. I think that's actually really cool. One of the reasons one of the big things that actually saved Yahoo from complete decimation was their fantasy sports software and ability to allow people to run their own leagues and all of that stuff. So never underestimate the power of people wanting to participate in stuff. I think this is a pretty exciting thing. One of the few reasons I would be bullish on Solana, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of Zed's Fed, right? Excuse me, Zed's Run, right? That
Yes.
is the horse racing, the NFT horse racing. Very interesting. It didn't. I think that'll probably come back one day. I don't know any, but that just seems it seemed like a great idea. I think these are going to be very, very popular in the future, especially as the metaverse and virtual reality come into play here. It's going to be a very rich, interactive experience. Yes, Zed's Dead is on my mind. Ha ha ha.
What's Zed's Dead?
Zed's Fed. I don't know.
Oh.
Weird reference.
Okay.
Zopal knows. He'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm missing the mark on that one, I guess. No, I mean, like I said, fantasy sports is such a mainstay for sports fans, and the interaction with it is, out of this world. People talk about it all the time. I know there's some fantasy sports heads in AlphaMint and whatnot, but you also can kind of look at some convergence of how big sports betting is getting for esports, right? These digital games in existence and people participating in them, and it kind of feels like a bit of a convergence for some of these markets. And I'm just going to be watching this. Like I said, I don't really take on anything in Solana. I've never owned any Solana. I've never owned any Solana NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
But if this was coming out anytime soon and it has a little bit of hype on it, I would probably start looking into this because it actually just sounds like a lot of fun too, if they get it right. And they seem to be raising capital from the right people. So yeah, maybe something to actually keep an eye out on the Solana chain.
Indeed. That's who it was. Yes, Zopal. Thank you. It's a DJ.
Oh, from Toronto. That's right. I knew there was something familiar about it in my head. And now it is now it's there. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's all I've got for news articles. WGMI I have pulled up to kind of look at anything that I'm missing in terms of projects. But I mean, if you want to be honest, it's a lot of red today. Like we said, the floors are dropping out from underneath it as people start to list their NFTs. I think the big talk. Oh my God, Galactic Apes is just continuing to dump. The big kind of NFT news that came out yesterday was Invisible Friends. Obviously, the mint went down. It seemed to go down without a hitch, and they are almost entirely minted out. Don't know what they have planned for the last 35, if anything. But the floor did immediately shoot up to, I think, almost 15 ETH right after the mint happened. There was some big sales going down there. And then it kind of flip-flopped between, 10, 8, 12, 10, kind of bouncing around. We had a little bit of a bet going on yesterday, gentleman's bet. You set the line at 8 this morning. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to give it a refresh and see where we fell. But last time I checked, it is very close. And drum roll. Wow.
8 ETH. Nice.
We couldn't have made that any closer. Look at that.
Yep.
I was expecting to pull a very slight victory here when I took the very close under, and refreshing right on the line. Vegas wins.
Vegas wins.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, so this was a bit of a roller coaster. I know there were some AlphaMint members that managed to mint these. I know there were some AlphaMint members that managed to sell these and have a big influx of liquidity. Congratulations to you. This does still feel a little high to me. All things considered, I don't know why this project would be 15 ETH, 12 ETH pre-reveal, but here we are sitting at it. If there want one bull case towards Invisible Friends, that the golden Invisible Friend that was up for auction yesterday for charity ended up closing at 496.69 ETH for somewhere around $1.3 million. Maybe some weird things going on, because this was supposed to be going to charity, and as you pointed out in the pre-show, that charity is
the RCC charity, which stands for the Random Character Collective Charity. They started their own charity.
Random Character Collective Charity, and RCC is, of course, the people who are behind Invisible Friends and a couple of NFTs prior to that as well.
I hope they don't have any yellow hats in their collection, because when the person has to zoom in to make that their PFP, no one's going to be able to tell the difference between that and ETH monstrosity that was sold yesterday to somebody who was bored. Don't worry, this person doesn't care. They're not trying to make any money. They like to do things like this when they're bored. That was the exact quote.
I forgot that he was on Twitter going on about it too. Do you remember his name?
I saw his Discord message. No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can't bring it up for you. I would have sent it to you. But I saw his Discord messages. He bought it for fun. He seems to be a wealthy gentleman. So he's just doing that for fun. This company and project continues to amaze me in how shit they are, and how they've run their community and how they have taken advantage of the NFT world. I am so happy that anybody who minted had the cook of a lifetime.
Fuck yeah. That was incredible.
Now you're sitting on a nice 40x almost. So enjoy it. I predicted a 14 ETH high. I believe they got up to 15. If you didn't take that 15 ETH, you probably should have taken the 15 ETH. I don't think the floor is going back there anytime soon. I think these are going to fall to 5 ETH. So,
yeah,
what it said from the beginning is that they're going to open at 7, they're going to go up to 15, and then they're going to fall to 5. I thought it would take longer to play out, but then Putin decided to invade Ukraine, so sped things up a little bit.
Yeah, right on open there. These actually, I didn't even realize there were sales this high, but 18.88, 18 ETH, 15, 15, 14, a bunch of 14s, 13s. Pretty incredible that that's how high that opened. Seems weird to me that people would be experiencing that much FOMO that these things mint. People always list way too high at mint, and I mean, people are biting on it. So there you go. Congratulations. I'm just wondering what's going through the mind of that person that paid 18.88, and if they actually believed that it was going. Well, I mean, this doesn't even seem like a good bet if you believe it's going to 20 ETH pre-reveal. Like, you're risking, he's down 10 ETH 10.88 ETH on that investment as of right now. So
Otto Swin, Shamdu, Steve Aoki, and Zeneca, Prince Satoshi, Fuckrender. No, Fuckrender actually bought his for 11.8 on the secondary.
Yep.
Fleur bought a couple on the secondary. Aaron bought some. Sneaky Ninja Pants bought 1, 2, 3. Nope, no Pranksy. They're dead. Let me see. Did Pranksy?
Pranksy didn't buy.
Yeah. He's the only person who matters in this respect.
Yeah, I'm seeing like Sneaky's buying some right now for 80.
Oh yeah. I mean, Sneaky and Fleur are buying. That's all you have to be. And I just want to point out to this shit garbage fuckhead of a company the fact that 4 of these influencers had whitelists. How'd they get whitelists? Tell me.
I believe they asked or begged for it.
They ask or beg for it. They bought the pre-sales. I forgive you, but that's just a very strange coincidence since people couldn't get a hold of that. But
yeah, I was seeing that Tropics was saying he DJ'd a party for them and didn't even get a allow list spot.
Right, and they didn't. They had. It's not like he went in thinking he was going to get. They didn't steal it.
No, of course, yeah, he was hoping.
This is just a perfect example. This kid did an entire job for them. Okay, he DJ'd for them. They didn't pay him a fucking dime. They just made $1.3 million on an auction for a charity they started. How much did they just pull in from this mint? Over 1,000 ETH? Come
on. Yeah, what would that be? 1,250, I think. That's
garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, let's talk about what they're making on the secondary too. When these things are flipping around at 10.8 ETH. What's do we know the royalty on these? Let's just presume. I mean, let's just presume it's 5%. I mean, they've made another 500 ETH on the secondary already, which is, yeah, it's wild. So honestly, though, congratulations to anybody that actually got to mint these. If you sold them, congratulations to you. If you're holding them, I mean, best of luck. I don't want to see these things tank and fall from underneath you, but it is really hard to imagine, especially with what's going on in the world, that these things are going to bounce above then. I mean, it really is just feeling like almost a bigger mecca, to be honest with you.
Correct.
JCV is saying, let's play Would You Rather, an Invisible Friends pre-reveal or a Cool Cats Doodles or a Zuki.
I think we would get all of them, right? Oh, no, I guess. I would take a, what were the Doodles, Cool Cat, or a Zoo? Oh, Cool Cat, all the way. I'd be aping the shit out of Cool Cats if I had money right now. Buy that FUD, baby.
I saw that they got down to a 6 ETH floor over the last
night.
And they were getting eaten up at that level.
Well, they were. People were well, same with Cool Man. I mean, all these things fell 50%, but I haven't seen the bots go this crazy since. I mean, there were wealthy people. In fact, I know of some in the DGen dojo who had sold a few weeks ago and had to watch everyone else FOMO around while they sat and waited for this period. And I'm sure right now they are just aping into all these collections on sale, 50% off. Ha! Did they? Yeah, I know. I sold my egg last week. I knew Cool Cats would delay again. It was pretty obvious. They don't have this game ready to go. So.
We haven't even talked about that. I mean, I saw that there was an announcement earlier on Monday.
We even know. It doesn't even matter at this point. This Cool Pets isn't ready to go. This Cooltopia, it was a bust. It's not ready to go. I'm sure they'll recover. I'm sure they'll fix it. But they shot themselves in the foot. Unforced error. And briefly, while kaijus were above 5 ETH, someone accepted a 5 ETH WETH offer on a Cool Cat. So I've decided they flipped Cool Cats. Shubs took umbrage with that and threw some facts in my face, so I had to back.
Oh yeah, I could only imagine just what was coming out after that.
But now it's a good race. They're pretty close. Let's see. It's a good race on the way back up.
Yeah, JRP saying, I heard that the community was not very happy about the defeated tone of their last post regarding the game. It sounds like the whole contract crashed. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any insight into that, but I gotta say, I'm surprised that this game was not ready to go, knowing that I'm sure that they had planned this and have been working on it for months and months and months, but you know, for an established and well-funded team like I would assume Cool Cats to be, this is it's a tough look on them for sure.
I'm speaking to a few cool cats, some prominent cool cats. There is rancor. There is a rustling in the ranks here. People are unhappy, and it's a situation where I think some of their most loyal holders are getting worried. It feels very similar to what happened with creatures in a sense. And I don't consider this the same situation at all. I'm not saying that they're going to crash in any type of way similar, blah, 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 blah. But I just think that there was a little too much hubris involved. There was not enough introspection. And a lot of it was well deserved. This is a collection that largely defines what the NFT market is, but they need to recover here. And price is reflecting a failed launch into a tough macro situation with a bearish seasonality backdrop. Not very surprising.
Yeah, kind of very poor timing for them to be kind of fumbling the ball here, if that's what you want to call it, right? So, I don't think Cool Cats are going anywhere, really. But we talked about, whether the milk token was going to be put too much of a price comparison in regards to the floor price of the Cool Cats versus the generation of them and how much they're worth. And now that the Cool Pets game just doesn't even, I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but like in out in the public, it just doesn't exist, right? And they're getting pummeled from it. So I'm going to be watching that pretty closely as I don't know. Do you think this has any impact or impetus on the rest of the market too? Like, do you think that this is something that's kind of
No. I don't think it would reverberate. I think it's very collection specific, which is why I made the joke. I mean, I don't think that kaiju's right, and that's why I made the joke. I don't think kaiju's are above Cool Cats or that their status is more than that. But people are obviously to delay this game again into the face of weeks and weeks of this. You have this macro backdrop going down. It is not surprising at all that we're seeing this. I mean, people were accepting 5 WETH offers on cats yesterday. I know a lot of Cool Cats that were really, they were nervous. They didn't quite know what was going on or how they should respond. I'm bullish on cats. I'm bullish on a lot of things right now. I think you go in and buy if you had liquid going into this, there's a lot of stuff I really don't think's going much low. We probably saw the low in things like Cool Mans and Cool Cats and stuff like that last night. I don't know if it's the quick bounce or the quick response, but it's hard for me to see these going much lower.
Are you still on a Twitter Spaces right now?
How did you even know that I logged onto a Twitter space? It just happened. Like I just got on the Twitter Spaces. How did you even know I was doing that?
Because I can hear them all in the background of your mic. I just heard somebody say, FMC, let's go.
Yo, Driz, we out of pocket today?
I think we're starting the day a little bit out of pocket over here.
All right. Well, there you go. So, R2. How you doing? Next.
Yo, John, see your hands.
It's picking it up a lot, man. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the Tubby Cats that happened yesterday. We talked about it on the show with a word of warning about what was going down with the contract. And when the dust settled, it was actually quite bad. More money was lost to failed transactions than the team actually pulled in from the mint. Somewhere to the tune of $2 million, I believe, was lost in failed transactions on this contract. And I think that is a gigantic shame that went down the way that it did.
Well, we saved a lot of people money though, R2, and I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
In spaces, there were people who were trying to do this in the lemon spaces, and I saw the AlphaMint got, and all of you should do this. I have my notifications on for AlphaMint. That account only tweets pertinent stuff. It's not constantly tweeting stuff, and I saw that alert. I instantly told everybody, because there were people who were just talking about how they were excited about Tubby Cats. And R2, you were on the ground and you knew how that played out. Tell us the details there.
Yeah, I mean, just to recap what we were talking about yesterday, essentially the way that the contract was written in to save gas, one a specific line of code which checks first was, I think, not there. And again, when you have this contract, the beefier the contract is, the bigger it is, the more functions and stuff in it, the more gas that it actually chews up. Well, this one was a kind of a check on whether or not the transaction would succeed, or there was Tubby Cats left to mint. And without it there, it actually burned the gas through the contract, regardless of whether or not you were going to get any NFTs. So essentially, if you were ready to pony up, 1 ETH for minting this, if you're including gas in, or the GUI price in that, you probably were going to lose about 0.8. The team did take to Twitter just before the mint saying, if you cannot afford to lose gas, please do not mint. For those participating in the public mint, the gas prices will likely be, this is the gas prices per Tubby. They kind of posted some estimations in there and whatnot, but they really didn't explicitly let people know that that it was going to be very, very, very costly for the failed transaction. And it was an oversight, and it was out there. So, I mean, anytime I just see $2 million leaving the NFT marketplace that could have been used to buy more stuff, or, potentially put some money into somebody's bank account, however you want to look at it, it does suck. I mean, at the end of the day, the miners won, right? I mean, the miners always win, but the miners won.
Do we understand what their reasoning for this was? Did it help? Was it like a bug that they forgot, like a mistake, or was it that they were trying to optimize it in a certain way and that it caused this to be the case? Like, do we know?
I'm under the impression that in order to save as much gas in the minting process, you trim down the contract that you're designing as much as possible, right? And one of the things that they trimmed out was something that prevents failed transactions from using all of the gas. Like, a lot of times when you're minting something and you get into a gas war and you don't gas it up enough, it gets sold out, and your transaction's sitting there pending. When it fails, maybe your total invested, the amount that you were willing to spend was about 0.25 ETH. A lot of times when it fails, you might get a fail of 0.02 or 0.01, and it's pretty palatable, right? And sure, that's some of the built-in risk of getting into a gas war and losing. This one did not do its checks properly, and in doing so, still, I think, sent all of the ETH through the contract and pretty much just crushed it and put it right into the miners' pockets. So, it wasn't to trim gas. They coded it shit. And okay, DRK knows way better than me, so I'm going to trust it, and had the logic the way around. Oh, okay. So they flipped one of the processes. My apologies. Regardless, it was a bad situation. I mean, that's way, way too much money to just get tossed into the ether, no pun intended. So, I mean, Tubby Cats doing all right still. Their floor is about 0.47. I'll give it a refresh and see what's going on. That's quite a high floor, 0.519 right now for a 20K supply.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was very surprised by that.
What was the mint price?
0.1, I believe.
Is it a known artist? It must be, or a known property or something. It's a high mint price. Why did it have all this hype?
I don't totally know, if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, they look pretty good, but like,
no, Corey, tell us. Wait, is it some sort of proper
Ratwell? Shiggy is saying
crypto Twitter hyped it. Oh, yeah. Well, I know I did. I heard crypto. I just meant That's what I meant. One of the artists is famous. I was wondering if there was a reason it was hyped. I know crypto Twitter was hyping it for a while.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah,
Art
well.
didn't like call out to me to grind this thing.
I don't dislike it. I think it's at least its own kind of style. It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
People are going crazy for it though. Ratwell is famous. Yeah, that's that's my bad. I'm actually not familiar with who that is, but they clearly have a following, 34,000 on Twitter, and that's definitely enough to gain some traction for sure. But no, unfortunate with how that went down. What's that?
No, I was saying that's a nice amount of followers.
34,000. Don't worry, you'll get there.
1,000 followers.
Yeah. You're getting close. What are you at now? 6,000? 7?
Almost 7.
Are you really? That's amazing.
I don't know, 65 something.
I knew FMC way back in his days of celebrating his first 1,000 followers. And look at you now.
I finally lapped my my follower count. At least I think. I haven't logged on in a long time.
Oh yeah, no, you probably have tons right now. I just haven't been active in 6 months. I'm currently sitting at 997 followers. Look at me go.
Woo! 3
One
more.
day I'll get there.
This
is where you say something and everyone just rushes to unfollow you, and they're like,
"Ooh, no!" I was gonna say, can we get R2 3 more follows? That's R2DGen at R2DGen.
Yeah, that's the coffee. Oh no, it's right there. Yeah, under my name at R2DGen. Oh, cool. FMC buys his followers. I've heard rumors, but can neither confirm nor deny that.
Believe me, if I bought my followers, I'd buy a lot more than I have now.
Yeah, true. All right. What else do we want to talk about today? We have Star Catchers. That one took a little bit of a fall as the mint process is going to be wrapping up here at some point today, I believe.
Well, the pre-sale,
5 p.m.
Pre-sale ends 2 p.m. We're going to see how many are left. Those are going to be kicked to a raffle. Yeah. And then we will be minted out after that raffle. And then I think we got a 24-hour reveal for the meta data after that. So
I want to say it was on the 26th of February that the reveal is going to be going down. I'll pull up the Discord right now just so I can confirm that. But
it was interesting. They wanted to reveal on the same day as Wonder Pal's minting.
Do you think that's a misplay, or it doesn't matter?
No, I'm sure they didn't plan it. It's just one of those things the universe lined up. Like if you ever needed to compel anyone to like dump a floor and go buy the new hot thing, it's like, all right, let's reveal on the same day. But they didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, there's just so much stuff going on this week. That was pretty hard to schedule around that.
Well, I even know with scheduling spaces and stuff, like you try not to clash with people in your community and other projects, and it's just impossible. There's always someone or some project running a space.
Yeah, reveal is happening on 7:30 Eastern on Saturday, and God, I hate when they do like these like weekend evening reveals, but that's just me. So, it's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I want to start buying some of these off the secondary. I haven't yet. Yeah. They have briefly dipped below 0.5. I know people were picking them up there, but they were almost getting into their own gas wars to pick those up sub 5 on the secondary. But I think if this floor price kind of just toughens up here, and we don't see any more dramatic pullbacks, I'd probably be willing to buy 1 or 2 more.
I don't think this is a mystery what's happening here, and I think people are too bearish on what and why happened here. Right? Let's think about this. So I had predicted that they would open between 0.4 and 0.6 and then rally above 1. I actually thought it would take time. I thought like they'd open there, we'd see a little, consolidation, people picking up the cheap ones, it goes sideways for a little bit, then all of a sudden it starts to get bought up. But there's 2 factors here, right? You got a ton more supply coming on the market from that initial hour as other people got on from Europe and elsewhere and started to mint. And then, of course, you had the amount of time before the reveal. So We know that giving a certain amount of time before the reveal can be conducive to a pump, as people will buy to play the lottery into the reveal. But this is a long time. This is too long. And what's happening, and I don't mean too long like it's bad. I just mean it's so much time that we now have Invisible Friends launching. We have Weather Report launching. We have Wonder Pals launching all at the same time. People need liquidity for that. The reveal isn't for days. Of course, you're going to see this lull, right? Everyone who wanted to buy bought. There were no buyers left, and there's still people who want to take their profit. So we're down here. Actually, yes.
Oh, yes. Sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to.
All I was going to say was that I just don't think they're going much lower here. I think that Starcatcher's big buy around here.
Yeah.
It'd be very. I'd be more concerned about the overall market if these fell under 0.4. That just doesn't make sense in my head.
I gotta say, if I had the invisible friends here and you wanted to play Would You Rather, it's like, would you rather have one invisible friend pre-reveal or 20 star catchers pre-reveal? I know that I'm taking 20 star catchers every single time.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we talk about risk reward all the time on this show. Do you really think that invisible friend is going to go to 80 ETH? And we're talking a random common, because that's probably what you'll pull unless you're very, very lucky. You think a random common's going to go to 80 ETH before these things go to 5 ETH? Please. Sheesh. These will do 5 ETH on the next cycle without looking. Oh, really? Wow. That's big news.
Wonder Pals will probably postpone.
Did you hear that, or are you speculating because of Russia? That would be big news. I wouldn't blame them. Who wants to launch into what's going on this week? You'd almost
let me see if I can find anything.
See if there's any
on that.
Yeah.
JCV saying, let's play over under. Does Weather Report open post mint over under the mint cost? Weather Report obviously launching today, a project that's been mired in controversy with Denton.
It's going to mint out. I really don't. I won't be surprised if it does, but I don't know. Was it a fully whitelisted project? Like fully?
I believe that was the goal for them. Yeah, they are minting today. The mint price is 0.15. So they have not decided to take any concessions on the price amidst what's going on between their honestly legal battle between Dented and this project. Mint date is at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, 0.15. There's a 24-hour window to mint. The public mint will go live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, also 0.15 ETH until sold out. I don't know what the split on their allow list and the public sale will be. A lot is going to hinge on what happens on the allow list, right? Like it's if this thing sputters or stalls out, it's going to be a tough look for them. So I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be a cop-out answer here for JCV's question. If it mints out, it will be higher than mint price. And I know that sounds obvious, but it's all kind of contingent on that. It's going to be all in or bust kind of situation. I think if you go into their Discord and whatnot, and even on Twitter, there's still a lot of people supporting their side of the story and their account of events and believing that they are the ones that are in the right. I'm not going to comment on whether or not I agree or disagree with them, because honestly, this whole situation has gotten so muddy that I just honestly am staying away from participating in either of these. I wouldn't be surprised if they both got delisted from OpenSea with their legal battles and them throwing around cease and desist orders and all of that stuff. We saw with Squiggles, OpenSea took them down and has not put them back up since. And I think that they just wanted to stay as far fucking away from it as possible. And I think that's kind of what we're experiencing right now.
I'd certainly like to see the market reject this, but if it doesn't, it's not going to ruin my day. I mean, we know that the majority of people in this project or any project close to mint are in it for the money. It's just how it is early on. It's very rare that you would have a community before that happens. So we know everyone here just wants to make money. That fact alone could mean it mints out and even sees a cook afterwards. I hope it doesn't. I hope the market rejects something like this. It just means that we would be maturing as a market, but we may not be there yet. We'll see. Like I said, I have no read. My gut, I don't know. My gut tells me it's going to get to like 8,000 minted, and it's just going to stop because nobody wants but see, that doesn't make sense. Because
no, I was going to say 8,000. You're selling
everything mints out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they have. I think they have enough rabid supporters in that Discord right now that they're going to mint out. I do probably suspect that will be the case. Yeah. And hey, everybody loves a good controversy every once in a while, and some of the most surprising things in NFTs have happened on the back of
Dower Darcel, my friend. Hypnotic Prince. Do you know what Dower Darcel is? Can you bring it up? Is it those shoes, the duck things, like those ducks? I know there's something with like Oregon.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah. I'm getting 4 parcels NFT. Is that? Oh, maybe 4. Is that what we're talking about?
Dower Darcel.
Not sure. I'll Google it. I'll look. Wonder Pals is supposed to mint. I don't have any inclination that Wonder Pals is actually postponing. So Decoy, if you have any like actual information on that, let me know. I'm really not sure though. It's still, as far as I know, going down on the 26th at its 0.08 mint price. Good mint price for that project too.
Like 99% sure Neo Tokyo is just MVHQ in a different hat.
Why?
I don't know. I just always look at the people minting like the Neo Tokyo land and shit, and I don't know.
Dower Darcel. Yeah, I found it on there. There we go.
Let's see the Dower Darcels.
Kind of reminds me of what's that guy from Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Mike.
I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. Yes, it's him in all different colors and outfits.
I've never seen this before. I have no context as what this is.
Hypnotic Prince. Is it a known artist? Do you see who the artist is, R2? Is he listed there?
Nothing listed. There's a Discord link. I'll click on it, see what goes down in there. Oh, I gotta verify. I'm not doing that right now.
Well, they don't look terrible, and it's not just the same model with a different skin. I'll say that much. But we haven't done a lot on the, and I meant same model as the 3D ape, tiger, whatever projects. Not that they didn't use, yes, they used a similar model for each thing. So,
a collection of 10,000 moody friends. All are individual and unique, just like Friends IRL. Pre-sale March 4th, public sale March 5th. So still a little ways away. Maybe something to check back in on and see what's going down with it. So I'll write it down in the notes and see. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna turn some music on. We can vibe out. It's definitely a little bit of a shorter show right now. I think that the focus on what we've got going on in the world is taking the forefront, and rightfully so. If anybody wants to come up and hang out with us, I'm going to throw the Restream link into the AM show chat for the Moon Lounge homies. But if you're in chat, we can keep talking to you and hanging out for a little bit. Also, I guess we didn't even touch on the Dented Feels very brief hack on their Discord yesterday, but for about 5 minutes there, lost control of their Discord. There was some fake mints going down. Some people lost some money, and they are trying to get to the bottom of who is behind that. But I don't know if there's going to be any information regarding it.
Yeah, I mean, I put out a notice about the hack that someone in the DGen dojo said it. We try to spread the word so people don't mint anything by accident. God, it's like, it was the perfect time to launch an attack like this and trick people into thinking that something was the mint. And, I don't know what kind of security they had in place, but it seems to have been breached. Like I said, Weather Report and Denton Fields to me personally are just things we stay away from. There's so many good projects coming down the pike with artists who are either the founders or part of the team that I have no desire to even engage with any of these other projects.
Yeah, lots of good stuff to focus on. Don't need to.
Oh, it is
get
a
in.
huh? Mina is going to postpone.
They're considering it. I think they're listening to the community, seeing what's going down and how people feel about launching into this, and we'll see that. So thank you, JCV. Sorry I missed it. I was looking for a decoy's message, but you were all over it.
And yes, decoy. Neo Tokyo is 13 ETH, which is about 12.5 ETH overvalued because it's run by charlatans. Thank you for asking.
Ella is saying Cyberfrogs revealed today at noon. I actually checked in on that project before the show to see if there was going to be anything to talk about there because I actually quite liked the art. But let's throw that on the list for tomorrow too. Do a little quick recap of that and some reactions. Somebody's asking.
Kaiju.
Your kaiju?
He's such a cute boy. My little mutant.
You're mutant. Yeah, you were rocking that in the Discord.
Yeah, he's a cute boy.
Any info? Oh, let's talk about your interview yesterday on the Crypto Monster Lab. The AM pass holders have the right to mint today.
Yes. Later today, when that goes live, anybody with an AM pass in their wallet will have the right to mint. So Santiago was an artist. He lives in the Pacific Northwest. He was brought into NFTs by Drop Acid onto a team. And he got into the world, explored it, loved it, decided he wanted to do his own project based on his own art. And what has inspired him are his surroundings. He's originally from Peru, but he did move to the Pacific Northwest. And Bigfoot, this is one of his inspirations. He wanted to make something interactive. He wanted to make something fresh and unique. And as FMC always says, ad nauseum, what attracted me to this was the art. Very Roald Dahl feels to it. Very unique. Not something we see on a regular. I mean, I see 100 projects that your average person would say, okay, it's good looking, but there's just nothing original about it. There's no soul in it. And that's why I was really taken aback by Santiago's work. There's also an interactive component, and it's gamified because as you combine two of your monsters together to make a new monster for this monster lab, the original ones burn. So we can keep reducing supply, and it all plays into his lore and his licensing possibilities down the road, right? That is, I think, what kind of is killer here, because if you are included in licensing, if you are included in the lore or even the comic book that he's working on for these characters, you will receive rewards via the utility token that they'll eventually launch. This is like an entertainment property doing a seed round with you. That's kind of what NFTs are to me. I always talk about they're the fractionalization of culture. I also think that's why this is the year of the known artist, right? Of artists who, not people who come to NFTs and decide I want to make art, but artists who come to Web3 and decide I want to make NFTs. Very, very cool. We're going to have that recording up eventually. You guys should check it out. But great project. Moon Lounge, you have access to it. I'm going to be minting it. I will repost the times and links in the Moon Lounge and get you guys that information.
Yeah, I'm getting vibes of the art from like Where the Wild Things are. Is that what it's called? Where the Wild Things live?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where they are. I mean, it's refreshing to see somebody just doing something a little bit different in this space. I was listening into it. I couldn't participate in the interview, but yeah, the idea of being able to like merge two and kind of combine the traits of them and whatnot are it's pretty interesting. Which project do you get to mint? This one that's up here on the screen here, Crypto Monster Lab. I'll get you the official website link. If you go to @CryptoMonsterLB. It's like cryptomonsterlab.io.
See, I love this. I love this. Like, I love this. That speaks to me.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But, you know, he has not forced hype. He has not tried to grow it on purpose. He specifically told me, I'm an artist making my art. I'm not trying to put any pressure on this project. And you know, I, FMC, love these types. This is what I gravitate to because I don't know whether it's going to be a cook today, next week, or in a few months. But these are the things I know are slow builds. They're slow burners. They get you there. And it's because of the dedication of the team and the artist behind it. The artist is your roadmap. Always. People want to know what the roadmap is. It's your artist.
Yeah. Tio's asking, how long do you have to?
I'm gonna do a little write up in the Moon Lounge for everybody who wants to participate. I'm gonna put the official links. I'll put the process so that you know what you have to do as a Moon Lounge member. As far as I know, it's as easy as connecting your wallet. As long as it's the wallet where the AlphaMint token resides, you should be good to go. I don't think there's anything else you have to do. So. Yeah.
You get to mint 5, but you only have one transaction to do it.
Oh.
BTW.
Gamification all around. Don't regret if you only mint 3 and you want one.
Did you see what's happened in Creature Worlds with that tweet? Someone brought that up in the AM show chat. I appreciate you doing that.
I should enjoy this.
Paulinary,
right.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about how I make some crazy predictions now and again. MFers, CloneX. I mean, these are things that don't make sense to your average person. They think you're crazy when you're saying these things. They tell you you're nuts. But I have contended for a long time that creature toads will clip creatures. Okay? And that was mainly a call on creature toad. But I said the reason I was so confident to make the call was because of the shit awful community being built over at creatures by their angry, maniacal leader in Danny Cole, who everyone holds up as a genius. But after the tweets I saw from him yesterday, just seems like a petulant, narcissistic child. I was appalled at what he did. I was appalled at his response to it. And this isn't the first time that we've seen out-of-pocket behavior from this guy, all right? This guy's out of pocket. Out of pocket.
Yeah, he changed his name and his profile picture to Vladimir Putin. Tweeted out, everything's going to be okay, guys. And the community did not approve. Yeah, so Creatures right now has been dumping. It's below a 1/8 floor. I would not
bounce back a little bit. I think it was at 0.65 and all that. You're all the people telling you it up, but this was last year. You remember there was roiling in the community. Something had gone wrong. Danny had said he was going to do this. He decided to do something else. He hadn't communicated at all in the largest creature whale dump. The Discord was war. It was ugly. Everything was going to.
Didn't Shaq buy one of these?
What'd you say?
Didn't Shaq have one of these as a profile picture?
What do you think? Shaq is reading all this Shaq doesn't
know.
No,
but I'm just saying, like, you
look like a creature. Creatures are based on Shaq. It's the reason he bought a creature. It looks exactly like him.
No, what I'm saying is you have all of the opportunity in the world when you start getting celebrity endorsement like that to like grow your project and really take it to the next level. And we're sitting here, you know.
The artist behind this project is going to torpedo it. The artist is the roadmap, period. And this roadmap changed its profile picture and name to Vladimir Putin while he was bombing and killing innocent people in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
It's not it, man.
Get this guy the fuck out the door. I don't need any of this.
Not it. Cast GM.
Well, I forgot I was on even on it. GM.
It's just reflexive of now for you to click that link, eh?
Yeah, it kind of is. It's like a reflex.
There you go.
How are you guys?
Doing all right.
Fabulous.
Market went funny yesterday.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. Um,
It's not that bad. The walls aren't that thick. It's just panic.
No, I don't think the
Well-
world is that bad yet, but
I always go back to that idea of like, you never, like, obviously some people are selling because they're trying to time the market, or selling because other people are selling, but by and large, you never know why somebody's selling. And there's absolutely people out there who, are going to need access to this money and this funds, and having it tied up in liquid NFTs is probably not the greatest thing for them at this time, right? So
100%. And I get that. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just the world just feels a bit sad, if that makes sense. Just, I know it's not that much to worry about, but it's just, is there a need? Do you get me?
yeah, I mean, you worry about human life. You worry about the people that are in there that are innocent and are being affected or uprooted or God forbid killed during this time, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. On another note, though, hey, fuck Star Wars. Hey, shit.
I may contend that some of my favorite Star Wars launched in this last batch.
Oh no, 100%. The art was just absolutely amazing, but I think it was more the pack itself in the Discord. Oi, like basically, I think Charlie set the Genesis pack to kind of give away some of the Genesis.
He certainly put it on you guys.
Yeah, 100. And then like people were arguing and not getting it right, and then the voice chat come into play, and then Mother Wolf turned down, and great, like.
So for those of you that don't have tons of context as to what Cass is saying, in the Star Wolves Discord, as the Moon Mondays proceed, every week something a little bit different has happened. The first one was just a straight up raffle. The second one was a traditional English auction. The third and one of them had to do with the Genesis the Battle Dome. There was a community vote. So everyone's been a little bit different. And this time, Charlie decided to throw it out to the Genesis holders already, those who have won them, and there's 70 right now, to figure out who gets the next batch of 20 of them. And it's been enlightening. If you, and I mean no disrespect, but if you ever wanted the bear case about why DAOs won't work, but you guys finally came to a consensus. It's hard to talk it out. It's hard to do things that you feel are fair and give everyone a fair shake in that regard.
I think it was fun. It weren't hard as such. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. We were sitting in the VC room, and we were kind of thrashing out what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and then put it into text as well. And it was great. And I think we come up with something really, really, really good. And I'm very proud of everyone in that pack. And it just makes you feel like, you know what, this project's gonna go somewhere special, because it was just like a special community thing to do, which again, you haven't experienced that in any other Discord. So again, hat off to the Star Wars team, and I just can't wait. Do you know what? Can I ask something?
Yeah, for sure.
XP.
Sorry, what?
XP.
XP?
Yeah, XP.
Okay.
Like, is XP gonna continue on Discord? Curiously.
Yeah, we know nothing. We don't. The only thing I know is what the Mother Wolf has said publicly. Everything.
Hey, listen. All you need, all I know is, or all I can feel is, great. You guys are great. So if anyone is hearing above and beyond and up in space where Mother Wolf is, like, listen, you guys are fucking great.
I mean, but let's just be honest with everyone. Nobody is immune. The Star Wars floor yesterday fell from 420.69 to 88.88.
Yeah, tough.
No one's immune. We gotta understand. That's just how it is sometimes. But anyone now, you're sitting there. Oh, I've been waiting for a say. Now you can get one for 88.8. I was like, oh, 420 is it's a little rich for my blood, dude. 80. Look at the jump there. Look at the jump on the floor there.
It's actually down. It's at 15.
Oh my God.
You know, it's at 15, which I think is a fair representation to me.
I know. I'm just playing it.
I think
Cass, are you fudding right now?
I think that's a perfect representation. I think 420.
Be careful. Sometimes we don't even know we're getting out of pocket. It happens. The pocket flips out. Stuff ends up on the
just out of pocket.
Dude, I'm sorry. This shit's going Sotheby's, man. Like, I'm sorry. This out's going Sotheby's.
You know what? We won't. I'll tell you right now. We will not rug Sotheby's when they ask us to show up. We will go through with it, even though we pay a slightly higher percentage. It's just for the culture. It's for the culture.
No, but I can see it. I'm being serious. Like, in terms of like JPEG art, why shouldn't it?
I agree with you.
But yeah, Star Wars was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Super sick.
Rips was actually just asking about what the Sotheby's rug was. There was a batch of CryptoPunks up for sale or auction on Sotheby's yesterday, 104 of them, if I recall correctly. And the owner in real time decided to say, nah, I'm holding instead, just kidding. And then proceeded to troll on Twitter about how he rugged Sotheby's. And yeah, great look.
I've never kecked so hard after what Rips just said. Pixelmon is set to reveal soon. I thought they were revealing in like 7 months. Are they really going to reveal? I feel like just what am I going to do with my revealed Pixelmon? Look at it?
They had a vote to delay or not, but seems like vote is not to delay. Why would anybody want their NFT? What would be the bull case for leaving your NFT unrevealed?
Leaving it No, I don't know. I just didn't expect.
No, that's what he's saying. Pixelmon is set to reveal real soon. They had a vote to delay or not, but seems like vote is not to delay so far. Why would you ask your community to vote on whether or not to delay the reveal?
They bought a game piece for no game.
Oh, because of the real world events only. All right, fair enough.
Pixelmon did that also. We're
that's what I'm talking about.
Now?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you see...
Okay. Yes, no, Cass, please.
Sorry, I was going to ask, do you see the market continuing to go on a downward trend due to historic timings? Or what do you see in terms of NFT crypto as well?
Well, I think that is the perfect storm. We had a week of very high profile drops that could always be a sell the news situation. We have bearish seasonality always that starts around late February. And then you have the macro. So it's just the perfect storm of stuff going on. That's all. I don't think that there is going to be any long-term repercussions for the overall bull trend, but who knows how low we will go or when it will end. That is why I love NFTs. It makes me not really watch spot, I guess. The only reason this is even big to me this morning is because NFT floors are down 50% across the board. But I really think that if you want to talk about anything that's an overreaction, that's it. Because with ETH cheaper, it's very hard to understand why NFTs would get cheaper too. That doesn't make much sense. So I think people are just panicking, trying to raise money because of fight or flight. Lizard brain reaction stuff, and I don't think it will go much longer. Again, we're just being driven by this macro stuff, so we'll see when it's a negotiating tactic by Putin. Let's see when and what he decides he's gotten what he wants.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And what's your thoughts on Wonder Pals?
I don't know anymore because it looks like it's going to be delayed. I was so happy. I won a spot like 11th hour, which I was giving up on that one. I got the right to mint one. I was looking forward to it because I was talking about it before. I feel no emotional attachment to it. If it pumps, I will very happily sell and not care what happens to it afterwards. So very much looking forward to it. It looks like they're taking a vote right now on whether to postpone. That'll be a curious one to me. because that's a very like, oh, we're wholesome, ooh woo, ditzy ditzy, love, peace, love, and rock and roll, right? Like that's what they're all about or whatever. I'll be curious to see if that community is like, nope, fuck what's going on in the world, mint. Like they're all cutesy hard eyes until it's like, wait, what do you mean no mint? Mint.
Yeah, it's like those people. It's like those people from projects that get on the allow list, and then massive FUD comes their way, but now you can't shake them out of that. No amount of like evidence or whatever. They're just like, no, this thing's going down and it's going to the fucking moon. I've already made up my mind, and you can't change me.
God, the weather report people are attacked every day. I get 3 comments on the thread from like 2 weeks ago about like, you guys are just fudding. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well. And that blows my mind too, because in the context of just that Spaces, it was, I mean, if you listen to all 3 hours of it, there isn't actually a lot of talk about, or like bad mouthing or anything about the weather report. Like at that time, in that instance, it was all very neutral, like, despite the fact that they were concurrently on Spaces, like just talking shit about anyone and everyone that was unhappy.
The weather report and the people on their team were liking my tweets. Like, I don't know if it was an intimidation tactic or whether they were like, yeah, I mean, I thought they were just like, yeah, you're being neutral. I don't know.
What are you getting in Twitter wars for?
The wife of the creator started liking my tweets. I was like,
oh, wow. Jesus.
Oh shit! Did I just say that on the air?
Well, on that note, look at the time, guys.
Cool. Keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling.
Oh, no cap. I mean, thing is, it's hard to dig shit out now. My notifications are just forever wrecked. If I ever miss your DM, your comment, your anything, please keep annoying me. Get yourself to the top of the queue. I don't mind.
Yeah, seriously.
Shit is getting buried, and I feel bad. I am not trying to not respond.
Well, let's talk about what happened the other day. I'm going through my Discord DMs, the long list of them, and every time a random group chat gets opened or this person opens up another one, you get like a new actual open chat. I'm looking through all these, and like I have ones with you and Cardinal from like back in July, August, and we've had group text since then. So now I have multiple group chats with you and him, and I left one, and you guys get like it gets bumped up to the top of the fucking thing for you guys. And they're like, oh, look at R2 leaving our chat, live rug in process. This guy's fucking packing up and getting out of here. Like,
I know. We were like,
you can't even close a goddamn DM without that person. Yeah, oh god, it's so fucking annoying. Discord needs a couple of things. And now I will say this. I don't think Discord was ever designed with the intent of being like the crypto and NFT hub for communication and whatnot. So I get that it didn't exist prior, but a little bit of ability to organize your DMs and like soft close them so that they're just not in the way. Like I don't know how many people I just pissed off by leaving a group chat thinking I was just closing the window. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And, so to Free Market's point, if you're DMing and like the shit just gets buried, like, you have group text, you have individual chats, and because you can't organize it, because you can't pin it, and because it's only down that one thin bar on the left, I mean, they disappear after, a couple of hours sometimes.
Cardinal and I almost went and started our own alpha server.
Was it called Clouded Ones?
We were going to call it Alpha Tint. Take you down.
Whatever.
Leave our group chat like that.
Octopus money multipliers. We're the dankest. I appreciate that. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me today.
Mm-hmm.
GM Luke.
Thank yourself there, money multiplier. I would put you in my pipe and smoke you. You're so dank. I'm sorry to make you jealous, guys. I would smoke you too.
No, it's okay.
My God.
I'm just enjoying the vibes.
That's all it is here, my friend.
It's always been like that, man. It's all good.
If I had a beer, I would crack it right now.
11, 10 a.m. We know.
I've already waked and baked, so I'm okay.
What do you mean you know? What's wrong with that? It's 11 o'clock. You never been out to lunch and had a beer?
It really is like it's just the Canadian cultural difference. He always like, what do you mean? I'm always like, it's 9 a.m. He's like, what do you mean?
I don't think that most Canadians share my viewpoint on alcohol consumption either,
Really?
if I'm being fair.
Well, most Americans share my viewpoint on Canadians, and we think you do.
well then, my apologies. On that note.
Anyway. Look, you can't even. It's just like anytime they hear the bubbling, it triggers people who smoke. Like if you hear the bubbling of a bong, it'll totally trigger you. Like shit, I need a hit.
I was you know what?
Oh, I thought you were going to open that.
Nah.
One swing.
I was tempted. I got a bottle of tequila over there.
You see him? Did you see him look?
No, she's at work.
So have a swipe. Lunchtime.
Door open.
Tequila?
It's lunchtime.
I'll do a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck, why not?
No more peer pressure.
Web3, baby.
Web3.
3PO.
Oh, look, do it. LED says do it.
Fine, fuck.
All right, fine.
Is he getting some ice?
You know the no, he's not getting ice. He just needs a glass. He's not gonna drink it from the bottle like an American. He's a classy Canadian.
Classic Canadian. That's one thing. He's getting ice.
He is? Oh my god!
Listen, if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it properly.
Do you think he has those big ice cube, like the giant ones that don't melt in whiskey?
I think he's gonna have 2 blocks.
2 blocks. All right, so let's guess. Let's see if he's a 2 cube. Wow! Do you see he's been working out? Did you see that? Jesus.
Hey.
Hello. All right.
Hello.
All right. 2 things. One, we can tell you've been working out. You flexed your arm there right before you sat down, and whoa. Number 2,
It's my
how
sleeves.
many, we're speculating. Cass says 2 cubes. How many cubes
Cubes.
of ice did you get for your glass?
I thought I was taking a shot.
You just took a shot? Oh, no.
Oh, I got it. Like,
Hey.
All right. Here we go. Wow.
Here we go. Have
this
you
is
got the lemon?
a lovely bottle of silver tequila. Casamigos.
Oh my God. Tequila. Let's go. All right.
I'm not opening a nice bottle of bourbon or whiskey right now.
Pour.
But no,
it
it's
up.
fine. It's pour it up.
We're waiting.
Let's try to get that nice satisfying sound. Do you hear that? This is a 2-ounce shot. I'm not taking the whole thing. If there's any doubt of what's going on right now. 11 a.m. Oh, I hear some bubbling. There it is. Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh.
2 piece. That is what we cheers to. 2 piece.
Oh.
So that's it.
What happened to the music?
I don't know.
We were vibing. Oh, man. Woof.
Lot of mercy.
Yeah, throw some hundreds up in the chat for I am now officially not going to do anything productive today. Oh yeah, God.
It's Thursday.
I love tequila. I just don't love shots of tequila. You know what's like great? I mean, if you drink
I do.
cocktails, tequila, really refreshing drink. Just tequila and tonic.
Really?
Tequila and tonic is lovely, yeah. A nice silver tequila. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. And lots of ice. Tequila and tonic. It's good. Love it.
I will have to try that.
I also didn't realize how much sugar tonic water had in it. So I've cut down on my consumption of it. But yeah.
So you've been proper working out then and eating healthy and
I mean, I've been trying to, for sure. You know, when I left my restaurant job, you really do forget how much you actually are just walking around and on your feet all day, and that doesn't mean that you don't put on weight, like, but you are
Breaking
at
news.
least
Breaking
constantly.
news.
Yeah.
The Nasdaq just flipped green.
Oh, did it? Well, that's something. Let's pull it up.
I just wish you guys had a stalwart, a shining light, a lighthouse in the distance of a stormy ocean to show you the way. Out of pocket.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty drunk now.
Out of pocket.
Oh, I was on the 1 day chart. Oops. Oh, there you go. Look at that. We'll pull it up.
Look at that.
Is that a bull trap?
That would be a bear trap.
Bear trap?
Yeah, because when you gap down like we did, and you reverse in a panic low and then go green, it's called a bear trap. I'm not saying it's going to hold. Again, I think the weekend's going to be hairy. This isn't a call that we bottomed. And by hairy, I don't necessarily mean we see new lows, but let's say we bounce a good 2-3% here. I could see us going back and making a double bottom, right? So don't think we're out of the woods on this bounce, but I tell you this all the time, guys. Oversold indicators, RSI. These are very, very good tools for short-term bounces. Like, you could come up. There are people that have robots that will trade the RSI like that. It's just a very good tool for at least a very short-term bounce, and it seemed obvious to me today. Plus, war reporting is very messy. It's very difficult to look from the outside and understand what's going on. We know there's terrible things going on in Ukraine. We know Russia is trying to do something, but we always find out there's a spin on it that's not as bad as it. And I just mean Russia's going to come out and say they're going to have some excuse for what they're doing. And while it's not an excuse the West is going to accept, it's the beginning of it's the beginning of the negotiation. I'm trying to tell you guys. All the harrowing shit aside, this is a negotiation by Russia with the West. And this is how Putin does it. And he just wants what he wants. And he is going to try to get it there. I don't think he wants World War III. Mutual destruction, I don't understand why Putin would play for that. And that's what it would be. It would be mutual destruction on both sides.
I got to believe that most world leaders understand at this point that, like, real mass scale war does not end well for anybody.
What's the end of humanity with the weapons we have now? There's no. I don't think
Putin wants a lot of stuff, but to die and to kill everyone is probably not exactly it.
I just think everybody is a human being with a family. And while I do think people in these positions can have, hints of sociopathy and narcissism and stuff that causes them to do things you normally wouldn't, I think in the end of the day, they all go back to their family. They all look into their children's eyes, and nobody wants the world to end. And that's what the result of a worldwide conflict would be. So I think regardless of what happens, eventually shit's going to ratchet down, and the market is going to have gotten ahead of itself on the downside whenever that becomes evident. And we're going to see a very quick snapback. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, though. I'm just reading about somebody who's, like, kind of in it, too, right? You just... fuck out of there. Hard. There is a huge Web3 presence in Ukraine. I was talking with somebody who had to get off the phone with me yesterday because his team, the devs on his team, are in Ukraine. So, I mean, this is a human crisis. This is a humanitarian crisis.
So, wait a minute. Did you say Ukraine, parts of Ukraine is a hub for Web3?
Well, I mean, I don't know specifically. Like, I just know that more than two projects, I think at least 3 projects I've worked on, at least one dev in Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, Kakoti is Ukraine and Russia too. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I had this theory, which was a bit dumb, I thought, but it was like, why would anyone take Ukraine or do anything with Ukraine? And for some reason, I thought, I bet you anything has got to do with tech. And I bet you it's got anything to do with Web3.
Well, I mean, Ukraine is kind of like a cold battlefront too, where the Western world, Europe and North America, want Ukraine to be part of NATO, and they're on our side, and Russia's saying no, they're on our side, and it's just this like, it's unfortunately for the people that are stuck in the middle of it, a tug of war, really, for
Well, well, yeah. Anyway, not gonna go into bad things of things, but it's all shit. Just people should just be able to live and just chill and just live. I think that's the beauty of Web3 at the moment. It's like there's that refreshing sense within certain communities that you get that.
Well, it was talked about a lot yesterday on Spaces. A lot of us didn't even know this was happening until a few days ago. I mean, you may have heard something here and there. I heard multiple people in the space tell me that they didn't understand the gravity of the situation until a day or two ago. And we're insulated, but I don't think that's bad. I feel like to be so dedicated to something that it's the only thing that matters, that's where genius and greatness is born. Artists, the best artists of our time, they're obsessive. They get lost. They lose themselves in whatever they're doing. That's where you find the flow. That's where you find the zone. You look at athletes, you wonder why do they go on streaks? Why are they in the zone? It's when they lose themselves in something where they're not thinking and they're not paying attention to anything else. Obsessiveness. That is where great things come from. And that's what Web3 is. So, it's very nice. It's almost refreshing to be here, because I think what we will see as the years play out, that everything outside is really a distraction from what you're passionate about. It's theater. And I'm not saying what's going on right now isn't real, but all the arguments, all the politics, all the reason underpinning it, it's just another form of entertainment. It's stealing hours from things like Netflix. All right. What do you want to spend your time doing? Is your daily life, is your life on a daily basis really affected by what these politicians are saying on that stage? And I'm not talking about people in war-torn third world countries, but we can only deal with ourselves and where we are. And getting into a mental state of the world is that you hear this all the time. You hear people in the West sitting in their comfy fucking houses in California talking about the world ending. It's not affecting you on a daily basis. You're welcome to be concerned. You're welcome to read. You're welcome to do whatever you can physically to help. But to sit there and go, the world is ending, what do we do? Look around you. What is happening on a daily basis to make you think that isn't coming through social media or the TV? It's here for you as an individual. It's real for the people it's happening to, and they have to react to it. And I feel for them, and I hope. But for you, it's theater.
Yeah, completely random. Before NFTs, yeah, did you collect anything? And if you did, what was it?
I know I did. Oh God.
Because obviously we can.
I'll say Marvel cards and cannabis genetics.
Sick.
I have a very large vault of cannabis genetics. That was, I love the idea of seed vaults, like that vault that they have like in the North Pole where they have all the seed.
Yeah.
The world goes away or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the one thing I've always really, really collected. When I was a kid, I had big binders of the Marvel cards. You guys remember those? I don't know if it was a US only thing, but they were like trading cards with Marvel characters on them, and they have little. Forget what
we had.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing we had was Top Trumps, Marvel card Top Trumps.
Okay. Yeah. It's something. It was just like a baseball card, but it had Spider-Man and whatever.
Sick. Have you still got them?
Probably. I would guess I would have to go out to my parents' house and go look in a container, one of his storage containers out where it is. I wouldn't know where to find them.
That's cool though, man. What about you, Artie?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever collected anything with like the express intent of like being a collector of it. Do you know what I mean? I know I had baseball cards, like shoe boxes full of them, but it was never like cataloging, organizing them, like really kind of digging down into the value of them or anything. My grandfather was actually quite a big stamp collector before he passed away.
My grandmother too. Huge collection.
What's that?
My grandmother was a huge stamp collector, and my grandfather was a pipe collector. He collected wood tobacco pipes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nothing that I collected with the intent to like accumulate value within it. I guess.
No, but sometimes you just collect to collect, don't you?
Yeah, no. I never collected things like speculatively. I collected things I was obsessed with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or even just for the enjoyment of it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm trying to differentiate actually collecting, like, as in, like, going out and searching for something to add to your collection rather than just something that you enjoy and you start to build up a collection of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always had a lot of video games, Super Nintendo games, all that stuff, but it wasn't, like, adding on to it as collecting them. It was more of just, like, buying them because I wanted to. Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, different people have different things in it. Like some kids, they go to the beach and they pick shells and collect shells. You know.
Yep.
So just
rocks, stones, gems, all that stuff. Yeah. Coins is always a big one.
Yeah. Funny enough, I collect coins. I've got stamps from when I was a kid. But yeah, I think once when the NFT thing for someone that collects things, it just was like, cool, this is actually really cool. So I can feel the sentiment of people that collect things, I suppose, and have that.
What did you collect?
Car parts.
Car parts, yeah.
Yeah, car parts. Car parts, stamps, and coins.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, so you were a stamp collector too, eh?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was just something cool to collect.
Yeah.
And something I used to spend my little pocket money on, just collecting different colors and stuff. I just kept it in the book, yeah.
I find it very fascinating now that all of these people that collected stuff now have the ability and the wherewithal to put those talents, because it is a talent, to use. You know, we saw it with the sneaker flippers and the sneaker collectors. Comic books have become such a big thing. Vinyl records have become such a big thing for people to collect, and now there's value in it. And obviously there's stuff that people have collected that are probably just worthless, and that's okay because they enjoyed doing it. But like, even just participation in the NFT space, having a collector's kind of mindset and background is very valuable too, right? And I think it's really fun to watch people have access to that now.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like a way, like antique collectors and antique dealers. That's basically what a collector is. So it's having those kind of skill sets to work in the NFT space.
Oh, you know what I collected?
Gun.
Pogs.
Sick.
Yes.
Pogs.
It just popped into my mind. I was like, I know there was something that like I always wanted, like the new packs and the new releases of them and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a real TBT. Most people probably don't even know what that is in the chat there. Pogs. There you go. Free market. You ever play Pogs?
Yeah, man. Free market. Yo.
Free market's on the lemon spaces right now.
Oh, he's on lemon spaces.
Oh yeah.
Okay, looks like we're gonna have to wrap up.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good time.
Sorry. Hello.
Oh,
Welcome.
Yeah. Lemon spaces.
Well, lemon who?
Lemon spaces. Hey,
Did you see the lemon I bought yesterday? Can I change my PFP live on the air? Let's see.
I think you have to log.
No, I have to go out. Well.
I'll send me a link to it. I'll just pull it up.
So nice
Guys,
to send you a link to it. Like she's just can be linked.
I love how like I'm watching my Twitter. I just crossed 1,000 followers. Thank you so much. It was at 1,001, and then somebody
I
decided to unfollow.
Hey.
I actually think thank you.
First of
I
many,
think
my friend.
I think
Of course, it's a
I think
Hello Kitty Lemon JR.
one of the one of the big reasons that people unfollow you on Twitter is actually just like I think a lot of bots are getting flagged and deleted. We got a lot of bots follow. So there you go. Thank you to anybody that followed. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Free market. Anything you want to do before we wrap this up?
I was gonna sing "You're the Best Around," but you interrupted me.
So sing it.
Done.
Oh man, you guys actually know about Pogs Slammers? Yes.
Oh yeah, I had Pogs too. I mean, I didn't actively collect, but my dad would buy them for me. I liked them. Pogs were fun. I saw someone talking about them on the interwebs the other day.
I remember I used to get fleeced by older kids being like, I'll trade you this one for that one. I'd be like, I'm like, I want my Pogs back.
Art. Look at you, baby Art.
This is where real diamond-handed traders are formed on the playgrounds with their cards and stuff like that.
I bet Stubbs would have ended up with all your Pogs.
Oh God, that guy would have.
Talking about childhood games. Did any of you guys play something called Penny Up the Wall?
No.
I mean, Ella, you know I can. I've gotten many a comment about stop talking about lemons. I mean, you want me to tell you why I'm so bullish?
Ella, what are you doing?
Hop on the morning squeeze, and I'll tell you why I'm bullish on lemons, Ella. I'll see you there. I know you join.
There you go.
I'll save that for tomorrow.
Well, guys, you have a good one.
All right.
Yes, we will catch you in the Discord, my man.
Then, guys, take care.
For market, any final thoughts?
Lemons. Guys,
we're going to wrap this up today. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Obviously, a lot going on out there. So, always the best wishes to you and your family, especially those in, affected regions. It's a tough time. We're going to be watching it closely. And it's just a reminder that, as much fun and, passion that we have for crypto and NFTs, that there's stuff that goes on in the real world. So, just it's always okay to take a step back, just reflect, see what you've got going on in your own life and all that stuff. So again, I appreciate everybody being here today. Free market, you want to get us out of here?
Instead of my normal thing, I will just say peace and love, WGMI.